T-Dog, J-Boy, and me, I'm Lugs. Our pride and joy is pumping our mugs. Be careful, kids, it could get rough. We're flipping our lids on sports and other stuff.
Welcome to Sport Weasel Central. Lugs is not here, but I'm J-Boy.
And I'm T-Dog.
Yes, sir. On the docket today, the NFL Draft. Who was the best? Who was a bust? And remember that old song, Will He Stay or Will He Go Now? Aaron Rodgers is on the clock. And Louisville field hockey is on a roll. So get this. More people watched the NFL Draft than watched the Oscars, the Academy Awards this past week. It's true. Roger Goodell's Cleveland Gathering got lots of eyeballs. So what team did best? Who was a bust? Here's T-Dog to start breaking it down. It's pretty good. It was a lot of fun, wasn't it?
It was a lot of fun. I mean, I guess it's easy to say, like, the people that you – it's easy. I mean, I don't know. We talk about the quarterbacks too much, but too bad.
That's okay.
It's the most I think, most compelling position in the sport, and it's the one people have a feel for the position, even though they really don't. I mean, I don't. I'm not going to act like –
Well, everybody thinks they were one at some point, maybe.
Yeah. I think one of the ones that really stands out to me, I really like the Jets draft. I really do. I think Zach Wilson's very talented. Obviously, outside of Trevor Lawrence, there's not one quarterback of the 5 taken that I feel completely confident in. Like, they all have things you can worry about. You're not going to completely sleep soundly on, I don't think. But, like, there's a lot to like about Zach Wilson. But again, like, I feel bad for Sam Darnold. You look at, like, how they drafted for Zach Wilson in his draft. They have built things around him that Sam Darnold never had.
It's a different team now.
Yeah, I mean, they took the guard from USC in the first round. They traded up to get him to help give, and they already have Mekhi Becton from Louisville. So, like, they're fortifying the offensive line. Then they draft Elijah Moore. A very talented wide receiver with speed to burn from Ole Miss in the second round. And then they got a guy who, it's funny, his running mate in the backfield, Javonte Williams, went in the second round to Denver Broncos. And again, I think he'll have a good career. But I think technically, even though they kind of equally distributed, Michael Carter was, I think, actually kind of the starter, and it's because of his size. I think he fell in the 4th round. But if you watch him, obviously he probably will never be a workhorse back, but who even knows what a workhorse back really, for the most part, is in the NFL anymore? They don't really do it.
That's true. It's right.
Usually a tandem. Michael Carter, like, he has so much juice. Like, he will give them big plays. Elijah Moore gives them big plays. They built the line. Obviously, Wilson's arm is – I mean, the reason he went to is, like, it just feels like he might have the most special touch and just how he can throw from awkward angles and stuff. Like, he's the most talented maybe quarterback, at least entering the NFL today, like, of the guys drafted last Thursday. So,
are you surprised? Here's what I want to ask. Trey Lance versus Mac Jones, and was that prearranged collusion so the hoodie could get Tom Brady too, also known as Mac Jones? There's my question. Go.
I mean, I was on the record, like, I know J-Boy and me, you and me, like, we were team Trey Lance. We really like him. And I probably feel, and again, this draft class is weird in quarterbacks. There's none of them that I dislike. I don't dislike any of them. It sounds like I dislike Mike Jones the most. I think Mike Jones has a chance to be a really good quarterback.
Oh, I think he has a great chance there.
But Trey Lance, I don't know why. I fell in love with Trey Lance. He's the guy, and I'm just happy that he went to 49ers because I know this sounds weird. I feel most confident in his trajectory of all the 5 quarterbacks who all have a lot of talent. I feel the safest that he'll be good because he's in Kyle Shanahan's system. And then that team was in 3 because they traded up all these picks. And I know they had all these injuries, but like they're not a bad team. They just had a lot of injuries.
I agree.
These years, so like he's going to a good team, a great offensive coordinator, head coach, and that I feel the most confident about him. Because I mean, you brought it up like a few, and I'll tie it back to Mac Jones. You talked about it. You do bring a good point about Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence, I feel confident in, but like you look at the history of the Jaguars and their offensive coordinator is Darren Bevel, who I'm not gonna crap on, but like he had some success in the Seahawks, but he left the Seahawks because they wanted to get rid of him. Like he didn't like his contract didn't expire. He's like, I don't want to come back here. They pushed him out. And you know, he had some success with Matthew Stafford in Detroit, but like obviously their offense for the most part wasn't that great. So like they had a losing record, and that's why they got pushed out. It wasn't completely on him. It was mainly the defense, but still, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like he's not – and also they have all these new pieces. I mean, you know, they had Travis Etienne. But anyway, so like I feel confident in Trey Lance. So like someone brought up, and it is true, when you look at if you go back to his dad, you know, obviously his dad had a lot of success with John Elway. And they drafted Jay Cutler, who was a mobile quarterback. Yep. Like the history of his father was they wanted quarterbacks with mobility. And maybe it's just maybe some of the spots where he landed, he had these quarterbacks that were more traditional quarterbacks. Obviously, they can coach either. But actually, maybe his preference was always a quarterback with a little more mobility. Even young Kirk Cousins, he's kind of lost a little bit of his gas. Right. He had some mobility. Yep. He can do bootlegs because that's obviously
rolling out
example of the offense.
Yep.
So like you look at that with the because you think about it, obviously it's forgotten about because obviously there were so many strong personalities in this situation. Daniel Snyder and the Shanahans and RG3. Obviously, very strong. And obviously, the Shanahans and RG3 didn't get along. But that 1 year where he was healthy until he got injured, it was magic.
It was.
And I'm not going to say I don't think Trey Lance is that level athleticism or RG3, but like I don't think he's that far off. And you have that element added to all the explosiveness in terms of Kittle, Ayuk, Deebo Samuels that they have. I mean, it's
a lot of tools.
It could be magic.
What game will he start? Will he start right out, or be like game 3, 4, 5?
They talked about he might start right away.
Wow.
But that's the thing is like, so I guess the Mac Jones thing. I mean, to be fair, Kyle Shanahan had said it. I doubt he would lie. People picked up on it, and I took the hook that Mac Jones was a thing. But, you know, and again, you feel bad because he was supposedly maybe going 3 and he fell all the way to 15. Mm-hmm. He fell in the perfect landing spot with Josh McDaniels.
Well, exactly right. Okay, so when he took the stage, man, is it just me or he looks like Brady?
I mean, obviously they hope like he could strike twice. I mean, his biggest asset, again, like going back to Wilson, Wilson's biggest asset is like how crazy his ability to throw from anywhere.
Right.
Obviously, Mac, if you're saying his superpower, Mac Jones' superpower is his ability to process like reads and be able to know how to find the right route. That's perfect for Josh McDaniels because they keep everything like just
quick
fine.
Release, right? Quick release.
Yes.
Right.
So so he went to the perfect spot. And maybe again after Trey Lance, I feel the most confident in Mac Jones. Not to say he's the best quarterback. I think he deserved on some level to be the 5th of these 4 quarterbacks. But he went to a place where possibly he's positioned to have the most success.
Absolutely. I mean, that's like landing and going to heaven there. I got some questions for you, but what are your other thoughts? I have some questions about other position players and stuff.
I guess some ones that really kind of stand out to me is I just want to say, obviously, I like what the Bills did because if you go back to where they lost in the playoffs, they could not get to Patrick Mahomes, which is crazy when you go the next game in the Super Bowl. They couldn't get home. So their first 2 draft picks were Gregory Rousseau from Miami and then Carlos Basham. They're both large athletic pass rushers that can apply pressure, and that's what they were missing last year. They just needed to add just some guys they
Some
can really
speed, some power.
and
Yep.
collapse the pocket.
Yep.
So, obviously I liked what Chicago did. It's because I mean, they did give up a first rounder for next year, but again, if Justin Fields is the guy, it doesn't matter. And then they had the conviction to trade up to get Telvin Jenkins, and then also to get Larry Borum from Mizzou. And also, you just look at how they are stylistically. I think with that success late in the year with David Montgomery and that running attack, they're doubling down on. They're going to be a balanced offense. They're going to try to run the ball down the throat and keep them hopefully with their defense. They're going to try to play complementary football. So I think they're going to, because they also have Damian Williams, who they added at running back.
That's right.
And then they added Khalil Herbert. So they have, and with Tariq Cohen, so they have 4 running backs, and they definitely upgraded a lot of the talent at running back behind Montgomery. So I think they're just going to try to smash the ball, allow Justin Fields to do play action to Allen Robinson.
And not to mention how mobile Fields is as a runner.
Yes. So I think I am excited to see where Chicago goes. And I also, they kept Jimmy Graham. They have Cole Kmet. So I think they'll use a lot of double tight end too. So I'm kind of fascinated with where Chicago goes. I think it was the right move. I mean, I do have concerns about Justin Fields, but I'm not saying he can't overcome them. I mean, you look at what he did at Ohio State these 2 years, and obviously how well he played in that Clemson game after taking that kill shot where he couldn't even get up the next day. So, I mean, he's tough. He's intelligent. He's highly, he's got just so much talent that I'm not betting against him. So.
Well, if you rewind the tape 4 years ago when it's Trubisky at the 2 overall pick, Fields is lights out, head and shoulders better, has more experience than Trubisky ever had, and still, even now, has. He's just a magical guy compared to Mitchell.
Well, I don't want to kill Mitchell, but, to be fair to your point, obviously Justin Fields, more talented, more experience.
Been to the big game.
Been in big games.
Big stage.
So, and even when he wasn't the starter in Georgia, he played snaps because he was just so talented. They wanted to get him on the field because they're trying to keep him. They're trying to keep him. They couldn't keep him. But they were trying to keep him. Go. So even though he technically, I guess, only really started maybe 2 years, he has 3 years experience in college. So, that's more – that's more than Lance. Again, as much as we like Lance, the thing you worry about is he only had 17 games. And similar to Mac Jones. Mac Jones
at North Dakota State too. There is something to that,
So yeah. So
I think.
Yeah, and I think some of the other ones that kind of stand out to me is man, you look at the Browns. When I kind of scan their team after the draft for weaknesses, I don't know if they have any.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
Team, to get Newsome, the corner out of Northwestern in the first round, and then to trade up to, I'm going to butcher his name, the Notre Dame linebacker, Owusu Koromoa. He gives them he's a star. He's going to be a star. He's noted for his hard hitting and his coverage skills. And then they got late in the draft, going back to Ohio State, Tommy Togiai. He's just a bull in the trenches. So, he just gives them another guy on the defensive line who's going to collapse the pocket from the interior. He'll allow Myles Garrett to maybe get home, maybe give Javion Clowney a chance to hit the quarterback. I look at them and I'm just starstruck. And the last one I want to give some love to is the Bengals.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase.
Yep. I want to ask you about
that. Jamar Chase. They had Jamar Chase, and now their wide receivers are Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, and T. Higgins. T. Higgins' rookie came on really strong last year. Tyler Boyd has been a very good, underrated wide receiver these last 3 years. So now they all of a sudden, where they predominantly played 11 personnel, they now have a dangerous 3-receiver set that allows Burrow to get rid of the ball quickly. You can still make a case that maybe they should have taken Penei Sewell.
That was my question. Did they leave Sewell on the board? He could have protected Joe Burrow